In 1966, every single African nation pulled out of World Cup qualifying at the same time. Not because they lost, because they weren't allowed to win. For over 3 decades, Africa, a continent with dozens of football-obsessed nations, was given almost no real path to the World Cup. Here's the rule that caused it. Until the 1970s, Africa, Asia and Oceania were forced to share a single qualifying spot. Sometimes 0. Meanwhile, Europe alone got over a dozen guaranteed places. Think about that. 1 trophy, 1 tournament, and an entire continent was told, prove yourselves against Asia and Oceania first, then maybe we'll consider you. So, in 1966, 15 African nations did something no one expected. They boycotted. Together. Every single team withdrew from qualifying in protest. It barely made headlines in Europe. FIFA didn't change the rule that year, or the next year. Why would they? The countries making the decisions weren't the ones being shut out. It took until 1970 for Africa to even get 1 guaranteed World Cup spot. 1 for an entire continent. Morocco became the first African nation to qualify that year, 40 years after the tournament began. Let that sink in. The World Cup started in 1930. Africa didn't get real representation until 1970. That's 4 decades of players who were good enough. But the system was built to keep them out. And it wasn't just about spots. It was about power. FIFA's early voting structure meant Europe and South America controlled almost every major decision. The countries with the fewest guaranteed spots also had the least say in changing that. So who finally broke the cycle? A man named João Havelange. In 1974, he ran for FIFA president with 1 radical prompt: expand the World Cup and give Africa and Asia real representation. He needed African and Asian votes to win. And for the first time, those votes actually mattered. He won. And slowly, the door began to open. By 1982, Africa finally got 2 guaranteed spots. Cameroon shocked the world that year, going undefeated in the group stage against Poland, Italy, and Peru. The team that almost never had a real path to the tournament came within a coin toss of eliminating the eventual champions. Today, Africa has 5 guaranteed World Cup spots. It sounds like progress, but here's the uncomfortable question nobody asks. How many players, across 5 decades, never got the chance to prove they belonged on that stage? We'll never know their names. The system wasn't built to remember them. The World Cup likes to call itself the world's game, but for most of its history, the world meant a very specific part of it. And the next time you watch an African team walk onto that field, remember, they're not just playing a match. They're standing on ground that took 50 years, 1 boycott, and 1 election to finally open up.